Boom shagalaka. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world, it is your boy Chris Shule, aka the Esoteric Noetic, aka the Chocolate Nubian Sobrada from Ghana, West Africa. Dropping the wisdomatic truth bombs here in Melbourne, Australia, on this local playground. So I thought I would make an impromptu live video talking about something which I feel is really relevant to what we're experiencing here in the lockdown capital of the world, Melbourne. And that is something called respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. What else does it mean to me? Self-respect, yo. That's what it comes down to, right? Because you think about what's going on right now, and I think we're seeing a lot of the mandates, a lot of the overstepping by the popo, because of a lack of self-respect that many of the Australians might tend to have. And a lot of people would say, no mate, look, we're just willing to give everyone a fair go. We care about everyone, mate. And we want to take care of one another. We are all one and free. I find a lot of the bleeding heart liberals tend to say that they're going ahead with these things because they care about their family, their friends, that they are getting the boom shakalaka because they want to protect everyone, because they're not selfish, right? And look, I want to make this very clear. For those that are doing it for that reason, by all means, good on you. You have every right to. But one thing you got to consider, because this is how I look at it, it's all good and well when you give yourself, you sacrifice yourself. You get this warm feeling when you have that effort requited. When you go out of your way to help someone and they appreciate it, they show gratitude. That's all good and well. The problem is, more often than not, as human beings, we tend to have expectations when we do something. Love is often conditional. We do something expecting that we're going to get a result, right? Like people get someone a gift thinking that they are going to receive warmth and love. They treat someone well, thinking that they are going to be loved and respected, treated well by them. And what happens is, when people are over-trusting and they trust that by, let's say, giving up their freedoms, that going ahead with a narrative is going to result in them getting their freedoms back, is going to result in them not having to undergo any other invasive procedures and whatnot. When they find that this is not what they get in return, it leaves this empty feeling in your stomach that you have been used. And this is why people tend to be more vigilant when they are showing their love to other people, sacrificing themselves. They don't want to blindly trust people. And the problem I think we're experiencing right now is that there are so many people that are going along with this thing thinking that they are going to get their freedoms back by just wearing a mask. Clearly that wasn't the case. They're going to get their freedoms back by the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Wasn't the case. They're going to get their freedoms back by going ahead with the boom shakalaka, and we're finding out that that's not the case. And it leaves you feeling empty. So for my bleeding heart liberals out there, in the same way that it sucks when you pour your heart and soul out to someone you love, someone you care about, and then they step over your heart like it was nothing, and they play around with your feelings and tell you, oh look, all you got to do is just give me a bit more love, when they haven't shown you much love in return. It leaves you feeling empty. And inversely, when people cultivate self-respect for themselves, when people hold their heads up high by being conscious of how they are treated, by walking away from anything that does not serve them, when people don't, you get the feeling that someone doesn't value your time, you get the feeling that someone isn't respecting your boundaries, you get the feeling that someone is gaslighting you or someone is manipulating you, you feel better when you do things like that, when you exercise your respect for yourself, your value for yourself. Because the reality is that we are human beings, and whereas it would be fantastic if we could just freely give our love and not feel any negativity and being stepped on, when we do give our love and it's conditional and it's not requited, it hurts. And when we do something and we get a negative result, it's time invested that has not served us well. Anytime you spend your time and energy into something and you don't get what you wanted in return, it's a waste of energy. And people that have self-respect tend to be mindful of not just what they accept, but what they do in every aspect of their life, what they put in their body. You find people that have self-respect tend to be very mindful of what they're consuming. They go and check out whether or not the ingredients are legitimate, whether they're consuming something that is going to fuel them in a positive way, because everything that you're consuming is either fueling a disease, creating dis-ease within you, or it is nourishing you and bringing you to your highest version. And where am I going with this? You find that people that cultivate this attitude of self-respect, whether it's in their food, whether it's within the thoughts they even have, it manifests itself in other areas of their life. They start being more critical about whether or not something is going to be beneficial for them. Rather than just blindly trusting what people say, they think to themselves, is this benefiting me? What am I getting from doing this? What am I getting from devoting my time and energy into eating good foods? Well, I feel great. I feel better about myself. What am I doing if I spend my time and energy exercising, doing these sprints? Just did some sprints today across this field. Felt great. And I'll feel the benefits of this. My mind, my body will be better, and I'll be able to walk around the streets feeling more confident in myself. This is what self-respect is all about. It brings about this confidence in who you are so you can hold your head up high. But when you are trampled on, when you do things or you don't do enough things, you feel yourself not being able to walk through life with the reverence that you owe yourself. And you feel that you're willing to compromise who you are. It manifests in every area of your life. You're willing to accept things that you know are not in the best interests of yourself, whether that be what you are taking into yourself in the realm of food, in the realm of thoughts, in the realm of mandates, or whether it be the bullshit that you accept. So ladies and gentlemen, it is worthwhile cultivating self-respect. By all means, it is important for us to give our time and energy, but you have to be mindful of how you are spending your time and energy. There's nothing worse, I know personally, than investing my time and energy towards someone that doesn't appreciate it, where you lead a horse to water and they don't drink. And what's worse is they end up resenting you. You feel like you've not only wasted your time, but you've wasted their time. So think about what you are devoting your time and energy to, and think about how you are cultivating the highest version of yourself. Are you respecting yourself, respecting your mind, your body, your boundaries? Because that's what is going to bring you to a more beneficent state. Absolutely, Varen. I was reading a message here. It does lead to depression. You find you're depressed when you feel as if your energy is not being used effectively. You find when you are in a state of imbalance. I mean, we all have a finite level of energy. I mean, unfortunately, not all of us are generators of energy. And if we are not having our time and energy used effectively where it is invigorating us, we find that there is a lack of energy within our body. If you are investing your time and energy into doing things that are returning tenfold, you're inspiring people, you're bringing love and positivity into the world, and it's returned to you, you get that gratitude, it makes you feel good. It gives you this feeling of elation where you were charged. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's one of the reasons I make these videos. You guys, some of you guys comment and you're like, and granted, some of you are like, oh, you crazy conspiracy theorist, you don't know what you're talking about, mate. But for the most part, you guys, a lot of you guys appreciate this stuff, and then I feel good about myself. And that pushes me towards having more self-respect and more ability to generate energy. And inversely, you get depressed when you are putting your time and energy into something. Oh, I'm doing everything I'm told by the government, but I'm not getting anything in return. I wear my mask. I get the boom shakalaka. Hell, I got the fourth dose. And I listen to everything they tell me, but I'm still locked in my home and I feel depressed. It's because your energy is not being well used. So ladies and gentlemen, remember to cultivate self-respect for yourself. It's the yin and yang. It's important to invest your time towards others, but you need to make sure that your cup is full. If you devote yourself towards helping others when they're not requiting you, they'll drain you of energy, and your cup will never be full. You'll never be in a state where you can be overflowing and benefit other people. And then by benefiting other people, you're benefiting yourself because you're getting that energetic reciprocation of love. That's what it's all about, yo. Now, just another point I wanted to bring up, slightly off topic, is what everyone is talking about here in Melbourne, Australia, whether or not I got to do what our Lord and Savior, Dan Christ Andrews, is telling us to get this jab. And once again, if people want to go along with this, by all means, absolutely. It's all good, bro. If you want to do it because you think you're protecting your friends and family, by all means. I'd be mindful of whether or not you are going to get what you think you're going to get, though. But I will say this. Those that do not want to go along with this, informed consent is at the heart of any kind of medical procedure, right? If you're going to undergo something that may be extremely beneficial for you, nonetheless, whether or not people think it's a good idea for you to do this thing, you need to be informed of what you're getting yourself into. And it's at the heart of any good medical establishment. And a lot of people are forgetting the fact that unless, of course, they have informed consent, legally, they cannot be required to undergo any kind of a thing for that matter. Boom shakalaka. So what's worthwhile is go to see a doctor, get him to answer your questions, create a list, create a very long list of detailed questions. And if you cannot have these answers provided to you to your satisfaction, then you do not have informed consent. And take that information to your employer and let them know that, I'm sorry, as much as I would love to go ahead, because I'm a very giving, selfless person, I want to go and do this, but legally, I can't go ahead with this because I don't have informed consent. And therefore, I would be like breaking the law if I went ahead and did this, because I have all these questions and they haven't been answered. So tell them, as much as you'd love to go ahead with this, you don't have informed consent. Your doctor hasn't given you sufficient answers. And another thing you could try, you could do, I would highly recommend doing this, is just to let them know that you have booked an appointment to get the boom shakalaka. Don't tell them when. Or make sure that you book the appointment much as late as possible. Because at the moment, we're supposed to get this thing by the 15th, I think it is, of this month. But the reality is that there are going to be a lot of people that have not managed to do this. And just to digress, I wonder what's going to happen to all of these companies that require employees that cannot do their job. Are we going to suddenly just not have a functioning society? See how ridiculous this whole thing is? If all these people that are required to do their job just can't work, obviously this law is not going to come into effect, right? All these employers are going to rehire their employees. But anyway, book this appointment as late as you can, 6 months down the line, and you'll probably find in 6 months' time, things will be very different to what they are right now. You'll find, hell, we might even have someone else in power. Hell, Gladys Berejiklian, she was the Premier of Sydney not long ago, looked as if she was going to be getting away, and what do you have it? She's been kicked out. Maybe, just maybe, Daniel Andrews may not be here as long as we think he is. That might be one of the reasons, perhaps, just maybe, that he's pushing things so hard, right? So postpone things as long as you can. I mean, procrastination is not always a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. There are some things that are worth postponing. This is what good lawyers do. This is what good people that understand the legal system tend to do. It's like, oh, I got an infringement fine. All right, mate. Yeah. Look, mate. I can't make this date. Let's schedule this later on, maybe next year. Just keep on pushing it. This is what lawyers and this is what good people who want to challenge the system do. They just keep on postponing this date until, what do you have it? They forget about this thing, and before you know it, you have your freedom. This whole infringement fine has been forgotten, or you don't have to get this boom shakalaka. People often forget this stuff. I've experienced this certainly when people owe me money, and I just end up forgetting about it because they just keep on postponing it. But the other thing you want to bear in mind is that you don't have to let people know what your medical information is. What you can do is you can just let them know whether or not I have gotten the boom shakalaka, or whether or not I have or haven't gotten this thing. I am not actually required to actually share that information with you due to the privacy of information, and therefore you can tell your employer, look, mate, I don't have to tell you that. And of course, if they want to fire you, this is the hard part. You sue them. Or contact WorkSafe. Fair Work, I think it's called. There are so many legal avenues you can follow. But the most important thing to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is that you always have a choice. This is the problem. More often than not, people forget that they have choices. They say, oh, look, Daniel Andrews says I'll have to do this. The government says I'll have to do this, so I'm going to do it. Repeat after me. I am the chocolate Nubian. Oh, well, you're not the chocolate Nubian. So say your name. I am, if it's Varen, say I am Varen. And I always have a choice. Say that as many times as you need to. 3 times is the magic time. Remember that you always have a choice. And when you instill that idea within yourself, you'll find that choices magically appear within your mind. We are all capable of finding options. That is one of the beautiful things about reality. Your imagination is limitless. All you got to do is conspire options. You think magic in real time. You tap into this creative force that you have within yourself. And this is what good lawyers do. They use the system and find loopholes. This is what good artists do. They bend the rules in order to create magic that would never have seemed possible. Tap into that imaginative ability you have to manifest your reality. And you will find that there is nothing that you cannot overcome. No obstacle that you cannot overcome with the will of God. So ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, I'm going to leave it there. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do. I thought we'd find this interesting. So they're telling us, right? They're telling us that pretty much everyone has been boom shakalaka. Let's see if I can do this. And I question that. I mean, I've been on Tinder a lot lately. And on Tinder, I'm not sure if you're on this, but people actually put down their boom shakalaka status and whether or not they're planning to get this thing. And I'm finding that about 70% of people have not actually done that. So now granted, you know, Tinder typically, I mean, my age group is set from as young as it can get to as old as it can get. I don't discriminate, yo. Don't worry, they're legal. But I'm finding the vast majority of people have not gotten this thing. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to go through some of my matches here and see if we... Let's see if this is going to work. See who has been boom shakalaka and who hasn't. All right. Nope, nope. Nope, nope. Nope. Nope, nope. All of these are not boom shakalaka. None of them. Oh, there's one. Boom shakalaka. So that's one in like 5 or 6. Nope. Nope. Oh, there's one boom shakalaka. Nope. But generally, you're finding that the vast majority, not one yet, have not been boom shakalaka. Ooh, she's a fine one. It's Bianca, girl. Hit us up. Check out the esoteric noetic Bianca. I'm going to give her a super like. There we go. Oh, damn it. Don't have super like status. Anyway, she hasn't been boom shakalaka. Most of my senoritas, oh, there's one. So one, I think I've gone through about 20 so far. Maybe 3 I've been. All right, can you guys see that? Yeah, she's got a boom shakalaka. No, oh, so glad she hasn't gotten the boom shakalaka. Oh, love it. Oh, hey, baby. Oh, wait, I didn't understand. It said, Vacinas salvam vidas. I think that means I've taken the boom shakalaka in Spanish or something like that. No, baby. How do you say no in Spanish? No, señorita. All right, so no, what? Once again, the vast majority of senoritas, not sure if you can see this properly, have not received it. So I'm inclined to think, maybe, just maybe, oh, there's one. Oh, wait, she's getting this soon. That's the first one we've seen that's getting it soon. But look, she might be one of those crafty people that's saying that she's getting it in 6 months' time, but never gets it, right? So I'm gonna give her a chance to change her mind. But what I'm trying to get across is that, look, if Tinder's anything to go by, the vast majority of people, not sure if you can see this, have not. There's one. There's another one. Oh, we're getting, oh shit. I got 4 boom shakalakas all in a row. But look, still, oh, boom shak, yeah. For the most part, I'd say about 70%. More boom shakalaka, ooh, shit. Yeah, about 70%. About 70%, I'd say. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what your thoughts are on the amount of people that have been boom shakalaka. Do you buy the narrative that we're getting up to 80%? I have this suspicion that if it really was that high, they wouldn't feel the need to push it so hard. Because the reality is most people that have gotten this thing, are the people that would have gotten this thing, right? And the people that haven't at this point in time, they're probably conspiracy theorists. Shame on you guys. Shame on you. You should be doing the right thing. I'm so sick of all these conspiracy theorists that don't want to listen to the science. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. You're selfish, mate. But yeah, because I'm finding most people that are getting this thing in the moment don't want to. And if you're in that case, don't. The government can't mandate anything. They haven't passed anything through law. It's a bluff. They're just going to get their thugs to try to get you to do things. And then you guys are going to done it. And then they'll say, oh, look, look, mate, we were just trying to encourage people. We were just doing this for public health and safety. We're doing what was in your best interest. You didn't have to. We weren't mandating anything. And the employers, they didn't have to do this. Well, look, it's you that made the decision. So look, if you are an employer and you're considering going ahead with this, I understand your situation, and look, the other thing you got to realize is a lot of employers, they're probably sending you these letters because they feel like they have to. Just play along. Just tell them, yeah, look, I've made my appointment, but let them know that you have no intention of doing this, and just have some kind of like secret deal where you'll pretend you're going along. Because look, if I was an employer, I would just pretend that I'm going along with what the government is saying. Look, mate, you can't come into my store unless you've received the boom shakalaka. All right, you've gotten it, right? Yep, you've come in. It's all good. Yeah, I've always thought there must have been people like that back in the 1930s that had to perhaps like carry out horrible orders, and they would just pretend that they're going along with this stuff, but wouldn't do it. They'd see these Hebrews in the attics and just pretend they couldn't see them. I do not see any Jews here. I'm trying to do a German accent here. No Jews. What's this, a Jew? No, I don't see you. You are not here. I will not kill you. And I'm sure it's going to be like that here. It's going to be a case of a lot of employers deciding not to go ahead with these unlawful mandates because they have a soul. I believe the Australian people have soul. I believe they have a conscience, and they don't want to coerce their fellow loved ones, their fellow Australians, to go ahead with anything that they don't want to, particularly when it's an invasive procedure. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like this video, tell your friends, tell your mum, and check us out on the Telegram. If you want to stay up to date with what's really going on, hear the real thoughts of the Chocolate Nubian, check us out. Peace out, keep it real. Oh yeah, that's another good point, Varen. Good point there. The businesses are going to be liable for the damages. That's another thing. Like, I would hate to be an employer and find out that I've been sued by my employee because of course, they would never have any adverse reaction. Because, it's completely legitimate. I can't imagine anything bad happening. But in the event it did, I would not want to be sued. And I would not want to be in a situation where the government does not want to come to my aid and says, oh, look, mate, we were just doing this for public health and safety. You're on your own. But you guys were going to sue me if I didn't do this. Yeah, mate, but look, we're not paying for these damages. We can't afford to do that. All right. But anyway, that's just purely hypothetical. That would never happen. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you all go. Peace out. Keep it real. Don't drive a text. Thanks for the insightful comments, Varen. And be sure to check us out on the Patreon. Drop us some comments. Tell your mom, tell your friends. Peace out. Keep it real. Chocolate Nubian Soul Brothers signing out.